We the top 10. UGK the major, way not play it don't stop here. Traffic lights, we going, know the time until the clock near. Hands on roll, we doing digi to the whole block clear. Yo, what you got there? Oh, did you not hear? And he's taking over and we got the whole shop, yeah. Her, she wanna know me better, but I'm on the top.
One, two, coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. And shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it, my words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it, you know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly, we ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all, peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah.
Mentally feel like Kobe, I'm like Jokic with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me on.
All right, here we are.
It was worth the wait. Worth the wait.
It was worth it. Totally worth the wait. I'm Eric. That's Bug, my cat who... Okay, you don't want love now? I'm working. You understand. I get it. Damn cat. This is John.
Hi, that's me. I'm John.
And you are watching the PHP Ugly Podcast, a weekly podcast that focuses on the PHP programming language, its surrounding community, and our company, PHP Architect. If this is your first time joining, welcome. We're happy to have you. Don't be scared. We'll be patient and gentle. We're very gentle coders. That's all you need to know. The stream is made a little better thanks to some support from our sponsor, honeybadger.io, the aforementioned PHP Architect, and our fabulous supporters on Patreon. If you want to be part of the actual live show, you can do that very simply by popping into our Discord channel at discord.phpugly.com, and there you go. You can
hang out with us all week.
Hang out with us all week, yeah. You can suggest titles, banter back and forth, ask questions. It's all in there for the week.
I was going to say, during the show, we take your title suggestions, and they often become the title of the show on our YouTube channel, and then we make some silly thumbnail to go with it.
And a lot of that because we're just too tired to think of titles anymore. It's been going on for way too long. We've overstayed our welcome, and we just need other people to do the work for us. If you're on one of the other platforms, X or YouTube or Twitch, if you're one of the 2 or 3 people who watch us on Twitch, I don't know why we still stream there. You can communicate with us through the chat system, but you can't participate in any of the Discord bot stuff like the title suggestion. So if you want to be a part of that, again, pop on over to phpugly.discord.com and join in all the fun. Okay, John, what the hell? What happened last week? Why didn't we record? We got so much stuff to talk about.
So much stuff. We didn't record last week because it's the one day of the year where we tell our date like they do over in England or the rest of the world for that matter.
What?
I heard a comedian talk about the one day a year where America says the day of the month first, the 4th of July. You know,
oh, that's funny. I never thought of that. Yeah, the 4th of July.
Like over in England, that's how they do it every day of the year. But we do July 3rd, the 4th of July, July 5th. The one day where we're celebrating our independence from the UK, we say the date like they do.
I'm pretty sure most of the world does it. I mean, even Cinco de Mayo, right? That's that way, right? Cinco de Mayo. I mean, I'm pretty sure like pretty much all the world does, and that's the way. The way it should be done. I feel.
What?
No.
Day, month, year? No.
It should be year, month, day, right? That's the better way of doing it.
That's the way to do it for sorting purposes, but
I'm all about the sorting.
Yeah, most people don't.
It doesn't matter. As I've proven to you several times, I can't keep dates straight in my head, regardless. Just had another little blunder of somebody asking when is PHP Tech next year, and yep, I'm still off. I got that off by one thing going on in my brain.
I guess it was off by one week.
Yeah, 1 week. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, PHP Tech, if you're not aware, is happening again next year, May 20th through the
20. Yep, 20 through 22nd.
20 through the 22nd. All right. I just already like maybe that's not right either. So nothing for you to do yet. No tickets to buy yet. We still need to get a website put up, but you can mark your calendar and start asking your bosses for that conference allowance to allow you to travel to beautiful Chicago, same location we've been at since we brought tech back to the world after the horrible pandemic. But yeah, so you know where it'll be. It'll be in the same location, the Sheraton O'Hara, the same place it was last year and the year before. You know the dates, so you can start making all your plans, and we'll get websites up. We were just actually talking right before the show about potential swag that, you know, what was still on the table. And all's benefit, there's a lot on the table still, so you should be happy to know that.
People are pointing out that your image is backwards. You're mirroring your camera feed.
Well, why is that happening?
I don't know.
How's that?
There you go.
That's all right. All right, cool. Thank you for pointing that out. You also have a much cleaner hat. When are we getting new hats, man? My hat.
We need them for sure.
This is my clean hat. I keep saying next week I'm going to bring out my everyday wear hat, because I do literally wear the hat every day, and it is an absolute mess. I'll remember to grab it next week so you can see it. But off last week. Holiday here in the U.S. Only a U.S. thing, so we were very selfish not to record. But you know, hey, sue us. But we're back. We're back.
Yep. I was with the family. We went down. We spent time together, and then we go down to a park, hang out, do a picnic, watch fireworks. You know, that whole thing.
Yeah, we're not big 4th of July people. I've never been like really big on fireworks. Not that I have any particular issue with them. It's just it seems like a lot of effort just to look up at the sky for 15 minutes and watch a bunch of fireworks. Yeah. If I can see them from afar, I'm perfectly happy.
Yeah, that's what we do. We don't go anywhere. We don't go up close. We're far away. Watch them be done. It's an excuse for the kids to stay up later than they're used to. So they like that.
And it's weird where we live. The community we live in now, like they don't want to compete with the bigger fireworks shows that are in and around Southern California. So they hold theirs the weekend before. So like 4th of July is like not even a firework area, but everybody else fires off their fireworks on the 4th of July. I mean, even people that live in the area. Oh, this is weird. Okay, we're going to have adult talk for a second. So if you're under 18, you're going to have to walk away for a second. Here in the wonderful state of California, where both John and I reside, pot is completely legal. Recreational use, everything is legal. So we partake, or at least my side partakes. I don't know what John and his family does. I'm not big on it.
We've been talking about it, but we haven't done that.
Yeah. I'm not personally really big on it, but the current wife has a particular edible that she likes. I mean, very particular. The brand and various flavors of that brand. And so we occasionally run out. And I went to I haven't been to a lot of dispensaries up here because, again, we don't partake that much. And I've gone to a couple dispensaries, but not a ton. I have my regular places down in San Diego. So like a lot of times when I was down in San Diego, I would pop in, which, by the way, I learned this last time. MedMen down in San Diego has gone bankrupt, and I guess they are no longer there, which was my joint. Well, they were my jam, man. That's where I went.
Hear about my joint?
Yeah. Oh yeah, my joint. I guess that's better. Yeah, yeah.
I thought that's what you were going to say, and then you stopped yourself.
So I've been exploring new dispensaries closer to where I live now, and I went to one this week, which was like. So dispensaries are very much like liquor stores, right? They have, like certain rules and compliances that they have to apply to. Like, I know liquor stores can't be so close to like an elementary school or something like that, right? You know, those sort of things. So cannabis stores have the same restrictions. I thought this was a joke. I pull up to this cannabis store, and I'm not even exaggerating. It was the city hall and then the cannabis store attached to the same building. Like the city hall of this town. It wasn't in my particular town, it was like the next town over. The city hall of this town and the dispensary were connected, like in the same building. I'm like, I still feel like I'm about to get arrested. Like, I feel like this is a joke. I mean, this is all still legal here, right? It was the weirdest thing. I enjoyed it though.
That is weird. I still haven't been in one. I just haven't.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about in the past. They run the gamut from crappy little closets to, almost Apple Store quality interior. Matter of fact, this one I went to this past week, I think will become a new location because it was very much set up like MedMen, where it felt like you were in an Apple Store. Everything was very easily laid out. Everything was organized. It was good. You should experience it. I mean, you never know when prohibition may kick back in, and you don't want to lose that opportunity.
It sounds like it might be any day now, the way things are going.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's not go down that path, please.
No.
Oh, what have you been up to?
Man, it's been a rough week as usual. I posted earlier that I was going to be using this as my weekly therapy session, and I missed a week, so I had a little backslide. So I had a couple issues, and I'm trying to remember why I put this note on our board. That feeling when you start a new job and everything is WTF. It's hard when you get into a new job and like everything seems broken and you just want to fix it all, but then you start to learn why things are that way. And I think it's hard having worked on the same project for so long where you understand those things are bad. And then hearing other people complain about it, I was like, okay, I know it's bad, but that's the way it is. I had a funny thing I did to one of a customer's clients. There's this whole system where they can delete contacts out of their contact manager. And there's a way to say, I want to delete, one contact. I want to check off a bunch, delete those. I want to delete all in this folder. And then for some reason, we give them the ability to delete all their contacts, like delete their entire database of contacts.
Mm-hmm.
And try as hard as you may to, warn them. If you click OK, you're deleting everything.
This is unreversible.
They still do it. And then they always contact customer service saying, I did a whoopsie. How do I fix this? And of course, I have a tool built to restore those contacts. It kept failing last week. And of course, I dig in trying to figure out why. And it's because they deleted over 1.5 million contacts, closer to 2 million contacts. And the script that does it was poorly written. It was a quick script I wrote, like, this will be useful. Let me do this. But very memory inefficient. So it just ran out of memory and would break. The sad part is all it does is create jobs. So I start getting in there. I'm like, I know I can make this more memory efficient. And for the most part, I did. But my first pass at it was, let me create a job, get to the next contact, create a job. So create one job per contact, which we kind of do already. The problem is the way I did it, when you create that job, it also will notify the client or the customer when that job completes with a browser in-app notification. Yeah, luckily I failed after a couple 100,000 because they got a couple 100,000 notifications of
shit.
This job's done. This job is done. So if they were sitting in the app, all they saw was this.
Please stop.
Luckily, as soon as it failed, it hit me of what I probably did, and I wasn't 100% sure that's what happened. But I told customer service, I'm like, if they complain, here's what happened. I'm sorry. I then fixed it and did batches of 100,000. So they got a handful of notifications, not almost 2 million of them.
Jeez, man. Holy smokes. I had a similar issue happen to me this week. It was part of the thing you helped me with, where my laptop had run out of space, and one of the applications was just like constantly letting me know, I can't write the disk. And when in the Mac OS, I forget what you call it, when you hit the key combination, you can see all your open apps.
Mission control?
Control
center? Whatever.
One of those, yeah. I did that, and I just had all these notification windows all throughout. Good God, man. That was the weirdest thing. I still don't know why that happened. I ended up, for the listeners this week, I had an issue with, I noticed like the night before, I noticed my system was acting weird. And so I turned off all the porn, and it was still not behaving great. But no, I noticed this the night before, my system was like acting a little sluggish and acting strange. And the next morning I woke up, and it just kept talking about out of disk space. And I have a 4 terabyte drive in this thing. I'm like, there's no way. I do a lot of video editing after the conference and the podcast editing, and those have a tendency to take up a lot of space, but not that much space. And like the PHP Tech, the conference videos, I'll normally move to an external drive when I'm done and I have them published. So I do a bunch of digging and do a bunch of command line stuff, and I find I have this one log file that apparently had grown over 3 terabytes in size. And I'm like,
oh, you didn't tell me you found a file.
Yeah. It was. Remember, I kept saying this hidden file. There's a hidden file. Mm-hmm. It's related, and the weirdest thing about it is that it's related to Python, I guess. And I haven't really dug into it anymore because I just deleted the file, and eventually everything came back. but yeah, I looked at what the file was, and I forget the exact initials. It was like a dot erg, and then the file itself was like elb.log or something like that. And yeah, I deleted it. I've been kind of keeping an eye on it for the last few days, and it's just kind of hanging out there. So I don't know. I've been running.
Looked at the contents. I mean, is it adding contents to that file again?
No, I don't think so. No. I hadn't looked today, but yesterday it had not. And I've been running a bunch of LLM stuff, AI stuff on my computer. So I'm suspecting that has something to do with it. Like something went wrong with that, but I just haven't really worried that much about it. Yeah, I got a question for you, John. Speaking of AI, do you use any of the AI tools, GitHub or JetBrains or any of those?
Yes, I do.
How do you speak to your AI? Because I've noticed, me personally, I'm very polite to the AI. I'm like, hey, are you able to do this for me, please?
I do too.
I don't know why. And I saw somebody else doing AI. And it's just like, do this, do that. I'm like, damn, man. Be cordial at least. And I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? Why am I cordial to the AI?
I do the same thing. Let me see. Trying to see one that I recently did, but yeah, I do the same thing.
So Discord, or if you're watching the live stream and you use AI, are you cordial to your AI? Are you one of these like just give it directions and wait for the output? And honestly, I doubt it makes a difference either way. Probably being more direct is quicker because it's less words. But like I try to have a conversation with, hey AI, how are you doing today?
Can you please do this for me?
Yeah, a lot of please and are you able to? That's what I always say. Are you able to give me a script that does this?
I've actually been using it a lot lately with Google Sheets.
Oh, my God. Have I gotten some stuff done in Google Sheets now with the help of AI? Yes, I'm with you.
Yep. That and SQL, reformatting SQL things.
So your Google Sheet stuff, are you just using it for formulas or are you having it write scripts now? Because that's what I've gotten into, the Google stuff.
I've not done scripts. I've done formulas.
Yeah.
And it's formulas that I know if I took the time to figure out how to write them, but I don't do it. It's not my day-to-day job, right? It's like I've done some really cool things with Google Sheets in the past and I know how to do it. I don't feel like looking it up again. I don't feel like remembering which value is which. So
let
me just feed it to some AI tool and see what it says.
Yeah. You've seen my social media spreadsheet where for tech and for Scale, Southern California Linux Expo, which is spinning back up. I've been at a couple of those meetings, but I have a spreadsheet in Google Sheets that does all this stuff. Like it lets you know if the text has gotten longer than what a standard, X post can handle, and it automatically schedules it based on like time zones and the best time to schedule stuff. It does all this kooky stuff, but like you said, John, it's like I feel like I could have figured it out, but it was just so much nicer. So much nicer asking AI. It's like, hey, do this for me. Same thing with Notion. It's like that's how I got so many of those like I forget what they call Notion's formulas. So many of those formulas done in Notion. It's like I just ask AI and it does it for me.
We had a friend of the show ask me about RDS Extended Support, and I did get back to them on Discord, but I found we had a client of ours. Sorry, I switched from AI.
What's up with RDS? Please explain.
So RDS, if you had MySQL 5.7 instances, they started charging you for extended support.
So RDS is the AWS Relational Database Service.
Right.
Mhm.
And what I've learned since then, because I mean, they did a good job of emailing everyone saying, you have until this date. And then they kept pushing the date, but they did give everyone plenty of warning saying, you better upgrade or we're going to start charging you. I never knew how much that was going to be. Their pricing models aren't that easy to follow. They were, in some cases, they were charging more for extended support than our client was paying for the database, because they're charging per CPU, per virtual CPU. And it's like, wow, like the amount of money. Our client on average was paying $3,000 a month for RDS. And then once the billing went into place, it jumped to over $5,000 per month for extended support. Getting back to a friend of the show said they recently upgraded and they were wondering if they had to do anything to get extended support taken off. And I had done a bunch of research because there's no way to cancel extended support. But by going back and looking at our client's bill, I can confirm that if you upgrade to MySQL 8, even though it says you have extended support on those instances, you are not charged for it.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. So their bill did drop back to normal levels, and I didn't have to do anything additional to make that happen.
Yeah. Kevin in their Discord referenced how expensive RDS is. I agree. It is definitely the more expensive service. And DigitalOcean has a similar relational database service, which is, again, so much more than just like a regular instance that they have, or droplet in DigitalOcean's case. And I always have this internal struggle because I'm like, yeah, it would be easier to fire up an instance. It'd be cheaper to fire up an instance and deploy MySQL. But like, there's so many things you get when you use the service that you don't want to manage on a regular instance.
But we actually, with another client that was doing this whole new project around reporting, so using a third-party reporting service that reaches into your database to query it, we have code that writes just data for the reports into a separate database, so that this third-party service only has access to data we allow it to have access to.
Makes sense.
We were doing it via RDS, for the beta launch, which was only to a few clients. But as we scaled up, it was like, oh crap, this doesn't work. Moving it to an EC2 instance with attached SSD storage made it way better. Made the queries performant enough to reply to the reporting service.
What? Why is that? Do you know?
Because of the amount of data, it seems like having the storage attached directly to the machine on an SSD is faster than whatever RDS is using.
Oh,
and they tried various, like, I'm surprised with how many variations they tried, from Aurora to MySQL, different instance sizes, different sharding of the databases, just trying lots of different things, which was really cool to see this testing of it. But the third-party service has a timeout. If they don't get a response within X seconds, they consider it failed, which was just unacceptable in our use case. We are reaching out to say, hey, we understand that there will be times where these reports are slower. We want them. Can we let them run? I don't know what their response will be, but there are pros and cons to RDS, and running it on an EC2 instance, in this case, was more performant.
Interesting. The only thing I keep thinking about with the Amazon's relational database service, RDS service, is how it saved our skin. That point in time recovery saved our skin with a really big client. And,
which you can do as long as you have replication set up. You can do it manually. It's just so much easier to do it with RDS. They've got the tools.
Yeah.
They've got the tools built out where you just say, I want to go back to this time, versus having to manually set up a new machine, start replication, and say, I want to stop at this point, and then you have it. Yeah, it is pretty impressive.
All right. Well, another tool that helps you in your environment is thanks to our sponsor, honeybadger.io.
Splunk like querying without having to sell my kidneys? Nice. That's a direct quote from someone who just saw Honeybadger Insights, the new observability tool from the folks at honeybadger.io. Insights is a fresh approach to logging, performance monitoring, and observability. It's a bit like Splunk, Datadog, or CloudWatch logs, but with just the good parts and a reasonable price tag. Honeybadger helps you gain deeper visibility into what's happening inside your applications, letting you drill down into the details and step back to see patterns in your data. You'll love how easy it is to query your logs and events and create quick charts and dashboards. The best part is that it's available on Honeybadger's free tier as part of their comprehensive monitoring suite, which includes error tracking, uptime monitoring, status pages, and more. Get started for free, then pay as you grow, or choose a 30-day free trial to unlock the full power of Honeybadger right away. To get started, visit honeybadger.io/plans. That's honeybadger.io/plans.
All right. Yeah, so I had some fun this week as well with one of our clients. One of our clients just hit busy season for them. It's just been a hectic couple of weeks, just making sure everything's running well and all that. But if you listen to the show long enough, you know I use Lando a lot for my development environment. Lando is just like this Docker implementation for hosting your projects. I like this. I like the project a lot. I use it a lot. We maintain Docker configurations for most of our clients here at PHP Architect that not only mirror production, but they're basically the configurations that get deployed to production. So typically, that's what we encourage our developers to use. But I'll be honest with you, I'm bouncing around between so many projects that if I can do it in Lando, I will convert it over to Lando. And then if I need a release code in one of these projects, I might spin up the actual Docker configuration just to make sure it still works. But Docker allows you to have a lot of Lando allows you to customize a lot of stuff. So we had one client that has kind of bought into all my Lando, rhetoric, and it started converting their projects over to Lando, and ended up on a call with them. A bunch of us ended up on a call because we had like a new developer working on the project, and we're just trying to get everybody on the same kind of playing field with these projects. And I've done some crazy stuff with Lando. This project is like, actually, I guess it wasn't really next level, but there was a lot of data sources, but we worked through it. We worked through the whole Lando configuration. I've got to say, I'm surprised that Lando Dev, I should actually put that in the show notes so I don't forget. But I'm surprised Lando has not taken off more than what it is, because it's the way we were able to meet all their kind of requirements, as far as like they were using MariaDB and a very specific version of MariaDB, and then they were using obviously a specific version of PHP that wasn't quite the current version. And it was just like a matter of changing a couple variables in Lando, and it ran. So, and of course, the application was all Laravel. So Lando, I guess, has like plugins for other things like WordPress and just straight PHP, but most of the ones I use are for Laravel.
End of day, it's just a Docker configuration management tool, right?
Well, a little bit more than that, but yeah, that's the majority of it. The big kind of thing that really brings it kind of full circle is the little proxy that it manages for you in front of it. So you can spin up multiple Lando projects and access them all through port 80 on your machine without having to do any configuration, including not even having to edit your Etsy host file. It manages a DNS entry for it. So it does like whatever the folder name is or whatever the project name is in Lando. And it's like .lndo.site or something like that is the URL. And it manages all that, the DNS, the routing for it. That's the real strength. So, and of course you can have, so again, this project was MariaDB. I spun that up. I have PHP Tech TV running at the same time, which is MySQL, and all these databases and stuff are all accessible, but it manages ports and port forwarding automatically if you want it to. It's really slick. I use it for all my Laravel. I know Laravel has a bunch of solutions out there. It has Herd. It has, what's the Homebrew? Is that what it was used to be called? Homebrew? There's a bunch of them, and I just don't understand. Like our Sail's the one that's like the official Laravel one, which is again Docker containers. For me, it's Lambda. Like I don't understand why everybody's not using this. But you had a article on your Trello board, and I'm going to snipe it in. I know. I'm going at
which you're not supposed to do, but
I know we have a rule against this, but it just triggered me. It triggered me hard, man. And
it triggered me too.
Oh, did you? All right. I want to talk about this one. Let me see. Where's my here? So John had this article called "I'm switching from Laravel to Rails." I'm like, all right. This is a troll. Like this is like they're just like trying to get you to read it. And then I read it, and like I got more and more upset as I read the article. I'm like, what? Like nothing you're saying is making sense. I mean, I don't fault somebody for going. First off, let's be clear. I always talk about it. I am a critic for Laravel when Laravel needs to be criticized. I have no problem people talking about Laravel. Bad about Laravel. I'm not one of these people that's, just going to...
You like it, but it's not the bee's knees. It's
right. It is definitely...
It has warts, for sure.
Yeah. But when people come out and like start ranting about Laravel, but their like reasoning is just like so far off base, it's just like, what is wrong with you? So this person just has this post about, they were a long-time Laravel user and now they're going to Rails. If that was the end of the conversation, I would have been okay with it. But all the reasoning he has behind it is just like, wait, what? So I'm going to let you... First, let me hear your opinion of this article before I rant too much about it.
First of all, a lot of the complaints, especially around the upgrades, make sense because I remember the early days of Laravel, the upgrades being really difficult, hence tools like Laravel Shift, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Laravel is very opinionated if you do things the Laravel way. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you get this upgrade to the next major version and everything changes. And I understand that. But you also don't have to use all that stuff. I would like, if I were creating greenfield apps, which I don't do that often, I would like to, as much as possible, stay away from the framework itself, like write my code and only use the pieces that tie into it when I have to. But I'm not that person. I write in a homegrown framework. So take that for what it's worth. Trying to keep separations of concerns where you can upgrade the Laravel application or the framework without having to change all your code would be the most ideal. But a lot of the other complaints, yes, Laravel has facades. You don't have to use them. The active record versus Eloquent, that was just before I started PHP. I had a friend trying to tell me I had to get into Rails, and his big thing was active record. Eloquent is an active record type ORM or solution, but I guess they're saying there are some pitfalls to it. I don't know the differences there. I don't know. There's just a lot of things in here. I was like, really? That's your complaint?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. So yeah, to your point, there are some. I think he had, the two criticisms I agreed with, which we've talked about in the past. You mentioned one, the upgrading. The other thing he talks about is a lot of the coding paradigms within Laravel will completely shift from one release to the other. One moment they're all about, oh, we all should be using Vue, or we should be doing it this way. And it's like, yeah, I get that. And I agree with you as well, John. It's like I've learned to decouple from that. Like,
As
so
much as
everybody's
you
using,
can,
yeah, everybody's using Vue. Well, that was the one that sent me over the edge. I'm like, I'm not learning another framework on top of the framework I'm already working with just because I want fancier front end stuff. So I started to like decouple from that. And I do that a lot now. Like these new packages get released with Laravel. Big fan of Nuno. I love Nuno. The guy is an absolute genius and a beast with the keyboard and coding. But I can't get behind Pest because I just like, I understand what he's doing. He's making testing easier for people in the Laravel ecosystem, and God bless him for that. Because, like the guy who actually does PHP Unit said, he doesn't care. Like I had asked him, like, does it bother you that people are building off of PHP Unit like Pest? He's like, no. He's like, anything to get people to test. I don't care. So I'm like, all right, that's a great answer. But if I were to move to another project, and I already knew my PHP Unit stuff, I'd just move to another project and work with PHP Unit. So I've just decoupled from a lot of that. And I'm not saying I never use it. I'm just saying as a practice, I have to have a better reasoning than, this is what everybody in the ecosystem are using.
The latest hotness.
Right. So yeah. Now where I do disagree with him, and he kind of couples us on, is he starts to bash a little bit like things like Laracast. It's like, oh, Laracast will tell you, a lot of these external packages and repos and stuff will tell you this is the best way to do stuff, and this is stupid. I'm like, well, that's just development. Like, everybody's sharing what works for them, and you just decide what works for you. So, if you are into Pest and you go to Laracast and they have courses on Pest, and you watch those courses. You don't have to watch them, and you don't have to use Pest. Mm. So I kind of disagreed with that. And this is all superficial stuff, right? Like, he did a lot of complaining, or not a lot. He complains some about the coding patterns that the actual packages use for Laravel, like not even Laravel like back packages, just packages people create for Laravel applications. And I'm like, yeah, everybody codes differently. So you're using the package, you're not editing the code in the package. So what do you care with how they code the package? If the package is doing what you need it to do, then what? Like, why do you care? And to your point about active records and Eloquent, yes, I understand there's like a difference, but yes, in the PHP world, Eloquent is active records, and he talks about how I forget what the word was for Eloquent. I'm sorry, for active records. He talked about how active records has this feature of basically understanding things like how the model's accessed, how the information's verified, how there was something else I forget. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, okay, yes, in the world of Eloquent, that's where you would use a repository pattern, because if you want this like a uniformed way of how your model is accessed, you create a repository pattern for that, and you access it through there. But then he goes on talks about how stupid repository patterns are. I'm like, fuck you, dude. It's like, what the hell do you want? So I never really kind of got, and he actually started off the article losing me, talking about like his issue with Laravel. First thing, Laravel isn't PHP. If you don't like the Laravel framework, there's a ton other frameworks in the PHP ecosystem you can use. So Symfony would be one I would strongly recommend. Cake is another one that's out there, and those are what I would consider, heavy frameworks. There are also much more lightweight frameworks out there as well. Some are opinionated, some aren't so opinionated. So it's whatever you want. That's just in the PHP world. But he starts talking about, he did stuff in Spring, in Django, which is a Python stuff, and it's like, all right, clearly you have a lot of languages under your belt. So I don't understand, like, what's bothering you? Is it the language? Is it the PHP language and how it's performing, or is it the actual framework? Because I don't get it.
Right. It wasn't I'm switching from PHP to Ruby. It was I'm switching from Laravel to Rails.
Right. And yeah, that's the other thing. It's like there's so much more you can do in the PHP world. And he gives Rails some props, and I'll give Rails props. I mean, it's a good language, but you don't see a lot of news about it anymore because it doesn't change a lot, and maybe that's what you need, right? And that, again, has been the criticism with Laravel in the past. It changes too much too quickly. Like, there's not these backwards compatibility releases, and they've gotten better. That has gotten so much better recently. So, yeah, I just wanted to rant about this guy for a little while because I feel like he could have some good points, but I don't get what they are. Like, he didn't make any good points here. This is the other one. So this is the other one that starts to trigger me, John.
I figured that one would.
My love for Livewire, which also while we're talking about Livewire, let me give a quick props out to Caleb, the creator of Livewire. He is a new daddy.
Congrats.
So, yeah, big daddy Caleb now. And look at that. I mean, the kid just came out and he's almost as tall as Caleb. So I think things are going to go real good for that kid. So yeah, he starts comparing Livewire to Hotwire. And now I have never worked with Hotwire. So I don't really know if it's a fair comparison. I don't think Hotwire is doing what Livewire does. But more importantly, my understanding of Hotwire, and again, as I stated, very limited understanding, but you can use Hotwire in Laravel. You can use Hotwire in PHP applications. Like, Hotwire is not a Rails specific solution the way it's been explained to me.
I think that might be the point, is Livewire is purely a Laravel piece. Like, you're basically buying into the framework.
Well, that's fine.
But I mean, you are anyway. Yeah.
Don't use Livewire. Use Hotwire. I mean, don't say Livewire is a tick against Laravel. There's nothing about the Laravel framework that forces you to use Livewire. And Livewire is better. Period. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put it out there. I mean, he references how you basically have to duplicate your controllers in Livewire. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, you would write controllers in Livewire, but you don't duplicate them. Like, it's not like you have a controller that then talks to a Livewire component that has the same controller. I wasn't sure what that was. And Discord, I mean, help me out here. Does the Hotwire do the same thing Livewire does? Because my understanding of Hotwire is that it basically loaded the website up so that everything felt like a more of a spa sort of application, but it wasn't like HTMX or Livewire where it was actually doing any sort of real functionality, but maybe I'm wrong here. I'll lean on Discord to correct me if I am. So that whole argument of Livewire, Hotwire, and it being part of the reason why he doesn't like Laravel, just, yeah, no idea. So yeah, I wanted to bitch about that. I'm glad you let me vent. That's been pinned up inside me for a couple days now.
Well, I'm glad you read it. I thought you would get a kick out of it.
Yeah. Did you put that in there just to trigger me?
No, not at all. I came across it and I thought it was an interesting take.
Yeah. A wrong take, but interesting.
So you were talking about JavaScript because of Livewire and Hotwire. So I'm going to transition us into some fun I've had this past week. It's actually been a pain in my ass for a couple of months now. We use an accounting software, an online accounting software that I don't have any reason to change. It does its job. I get all of our transactions from our banks, our credit cards, everything into the accounting software.
Yeah, you're talking about for our company, PHP Architect,
For
right?
PHP Architect, I'm using, I don't even want to say the name of it because they're not sponsoring, but we use it for accounting. And then I have a bunch of scripts where for every sale that we make, so when we sold the elephants, the magazine sales, everything, I can automatically make invoices within the accounting software. Then there's a process of reconciling. Somebody was supposed to give us $5. They gave us $5. Hit OK. We're done. On top of that, I also reach out to Stripe and PayPal to say, hey, for this transaction, what was the fee? Get back, hey, this was a 78-cent fee. So I create a bill within the accounting software. And again, I have a transaction from the bank, from PayPal, that with a bill that I'm supposed to pay, they match up. Perfect. Everything should work great. At the end of a month, or when we do the magazine, I have to go through, for every order, there's now 2 transactions. The recurring fee and, the recurring charge to the customer and the fee that we have to pay. And I have to click OK for each one of these. Then all of a sudden, I go to click OK and it says, the date of the invoice is after the date of the transaction. Are you sure you want to do this? And I'm looking at it and they're both the same date. I'm like, no, it's the same day. Why is this an issue? It wasn't after. And at first, I didn't think about it. I just okay, I don't want to deal with this right now. It'll be fine later. Full month later, when I should have all of our transactions reconciled, it's still an issue. And I reach out to them and they can't give me an answer. So what do? I go into debug mode. I'm in their JavaScript debugging. I get all the way down to where this check happens. I don't even know how I found it, but their API is returning for the transaction date. It returns something like July 7, 2024. And then for the invoice date, it's 2024-07-10. It's the same date, but when you feed those both into JavaScript's new date function to compare them, I forget which one is which. One is assumed to be UTC, so it goes back 7 hours because I'm in California. And the other one is whatever date you give it, because that makes sense. And now the dates are off. So I'm constantly emailing their support team, trying to say, here's how you can fix it. Can you please fix it? And of course they go, we sent it all to our engineers. We don't know. So what do I end up doing to fix it on our end? Oh, give me a list of all my invoices. I'm just going to subtract the day and push it back up so I don't have to deal with this. So I can just hit OK once.
And you know that's going to come back and bite you in the butt, so, like down the road at some point. You'll be like, "Wait, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Oh yeah, that's right. Did it?
I changed our little command that creates the invoices. So now when it creates it a day earlier. So
good.
It was just frustrating, and of course they won't give me an answer. They probably won't fix it.
That's too funny.
Like,
all right, let me take a moment while we're talking. We don't have to stop talking, although I think I have to turn up the volume here. But yes.
Thank you, Patreon supporters.
Okay, I take it that's a yes. I'm like, can you still hear me?
No, I could not.
Yeah, okay. that explains why you weren't responding. Okay, yeah. Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. We do have a couple of new ones. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, I think Yep, for sure. My Vim find and replace was wrong.
Oh no.
I'm looking at this. So what I do is, we get the full name when we pull it into when I pull in the CSV, and I have a Vim basically find and replace, I guess is the best way to call it. That I will say, okay, take the first word or first name and keep it, and then what I was doing was saying delete everything after the first letter of the next word. And I was running into these problems where, some people have two last names or they have a hyphenated last name so I'm like, all right, let me rethink this. I'm like, take the, what I was trying to do is I said, I was trying to take the first word, take the second word, take the first letter, capitalize it or take the first word, take everything else. So the first word, take everything else, pull off the first letter, capitalize it, and then delete everything else. And looking at this, I realized that I screwed up, and it must have taken the last letter because I know Frank, David, Sean, their last name ends with N, does not end with N. A couple of them I caught, like Beck J there. I'm like, wait a minute, why is that an N? And I just fixed it, not thinking that it might have been a bigger problem.
I just fixed the current wife's name, not anybody else's.
Yeah. I just fixed the current wife's name, and so I apologize, but I'll fix it maybe next week, or I'll probably forget until then. But thank you all our Patreon supporters. You want to hear something fun? I got two things while this is playing.
Sure.
I don't know how it's I don't know how much time it has. I think it just keeps looping because I have it open here. Yeah, it's gonna keep looping. Well, it's over. I'll tell you now anyways, because I got two things I kind of want to share with you. One is a question, and then the second, let me share this for you. I'm a big baseball fan, right?
Yes.
And I go to games, went to a Padres game recently, enjoyed myself. I live fairly close to a minor league, actually the Padres minor league team. And so I go to quite a few of those games. Well, we have the family in town, including a niece is coming to town. So, I was coordinating a night out at baseball, and it just made more sense to take them to the minor league game because A, is cheaper and it's closer and easier to get to than a Padres game. So because of the amount of people, I got in touch with them to do like the group thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the person who was helping me is actually somebody
Really?
Yeah. You only know because you've been to the games, but it's like the
guy who walks around talking to everybody?
Yeah, like the MC, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking to him, and he has a very distinct voice. And I'm like, are you? And he's like, yeah. And we start talking. So over the next couple of days, he's helping me with this sale. And then he calls me up, and we're finalizing everything. He goes, so you're all good? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and he asked me, he goes, hey, he goes, you interested in throwing out the first pitch? Now, for those who don't know, like the idea of stepping on the professional baseball field and participating in any fashion is, like a big deal to me. But I pussed out. I was like, nah. I got like,
You did? Really?
yeah. I told him I appreciate it, but like my knee situation's acting up, and I didn't feel like howling out there and making a fool of myself. I might change my mind. I don't know. I keep thinking about it. It's like, man, that would be so cool. And I feel like it was funny because I'm like, if I had a better PHP architect shirt, I might actually do it.
There's still time, right? Get one.
So yeah, I do actually have time because we're not going for another week or so. But yeah, I thought that was cool. I mean, that was really cool. But so the question I had for you, and this just kind of came up. When's the last time you updated your resume?
I haven't.
When's the last time you've actually read a resume?
Oh, geez. When we hired Mike, we read his.
Oh, did he have a resume? I don't remember.
Yeah. I'm gonna say yes. I could be making that up. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. I'm watching you.
I had a friend of mine reach out to me and ask me if I would look over their resume. And, of course I did. And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, man, I don't even like know what to look for anymore. Like, and it was hard for me because this individual who I know very well, I know very well. Like, I know what they do and everything that they contribute to the community and contribute to packages. So I know their skill set. And it's weird because I'm like reading it and I see what they're doing. And it's just like they're doing everything right. But I'm like, I find myself like not making that connection anymore, like between really doing the work people do and a resume. And we've talked in the past, John knows this about me. Whenever we hired people at PHP Architect, I have this habit of stalking. Like I go in there and I figure out like what they've done in the community, what they've contributed, who they are. I look at their Twitter. So like resumes carry little weight with me, but I do understand that they're an important thing to have when looking for a job. And his resume, I mean, was top notch. I mean, the guy, he has like all the right things that you're looking for, but I still didn't feel like it's not like really conveying how good this person is. And then I started thinking, and I'm like, you know what? If PHP Architect ever comes to an end, I'm going to have to switch careers because I have no idea how to write a resume anymore. Like, I don't know what I would write in a resume that would get me hired anywhere else. I couldn't do it. I just wouldn't. I don't feel like I have the skills for anybody else to hire me.
Oh, I already know when this comes to an end, I'm just going to be a Walmart greeter.
Okay, we need to be clear. I said if. You said when. That bothers me. But I like the Walmart greeter angle. I've been thinking landscaping myself, but I like the Walmart greeter angle. That's a good one.
It's too hot right now for landscaping. That's just crazy talk.
So we're at about our time.
We got one more that was put in. It's semi old news now. It's probably over a week old, but have you seen the Twilio confirms data breach?
I was hoping you'd want to talk about this. I was going to snipe two of yours, but I do already have this one queued up. So
no, that works perfect.
I only read it because it was on your Trello board. I was not aware of it, but I need more information because this article is very short.
It's very short because there's not much to it. It's like all they did was get information. Was it phone numbers? And of course not. Yeah, they got phone numbers of people that use Authy.
Right.
They may have got some account IDs, but it doesn't really mean anything. The real major concern is people using that to contact you, send you a text like, hey,
this is
some sort of phishing attempt trying to get some sort of token from you.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's the only thing I could think of. I'm like, okay, so they know I'm an Authy user and they have a phone number, and I wasn't sure if it was the Twilio phone number or if it was like a real phone number, because like I know our Twilio phone numbers are not my phone numbers.
No, I think it's whatever phone number you have associated with your Authy account.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, I could see them sending a text message saying, "Hey, this is Authy. There's been a problem with your system. Can you give us a code for Twilio? And we just need to verify that it's working," sort of thing. I could see that. But I don't know.
Or not even, it could be just phishing, trying to think maybe you have an AWS token or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. Now, I did have a question. So I understand what phishing is, right? And that's in this article. What's this?
Smishing? I don't know. I should know it. Social engineering attack that uses fake mobile text messages to trick people into downloading malware, sharing sensitive information, or sending money to cyber criminals. It's phishing. It's SMS phishing is what it comes down to.
SMS phishing. I get it.
Yeah.
We have to have all these names just to stay cool. All right.
Everything is buzzwords, damn it.
And by the way, this is the people behind this were the notorious shiny hunters. I'm curious if notorious is actually part of their tag, or are we supposed to know who the shiny hunters are? Do we know who the shiny hunters are?
I do not know who they are, but they are probably a big hacking group.
Clearly, they hacked.
They're notorious, damn it.
Yes, and the only notorious I know is the BIG. So if they're up to the BIG level, then speaking of the notorious BIG, let me stop sharing. So I forgot to add this to the Trello board, and I went back to look for it. I had issues with it a little bit, so I might not have looked for it as hard as I wanted to. But there's another PHP Rap out there. So we are well known for our Harry Mack PHP Ugly anthem. Matter of fact, unfortunately, I think more people know of that than the actual podcast. But there's another PHP Rap out there that I listened to, and I felt like they were kind of going for the same vibe to like get people excited. But it's like, yeah, nah. It was, and I'm trying to remember the words so if people want to Google it, but it was like,
it was years ago, wasn't it?
No. This just came out, like, might have been today.
Oh, really?
And it's like, what were the words? PHP is back, but it was never gone, or something like that. Now I gotta look for it. God damn it! Why do you make me do this, Sean?
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about. Kevin just reminded me. People are idiots, so you need to tell them not to click suspicious links, and you have to put obvious warning labels on products. We are in the process of trademarking our new logo. Not this one, but this one with the elephant in it. And it's not cheap. It takes a long time to do. Within the past week, I've gotten 2 pieces of mail. This one specific is an example of it, but it looks official. It's a trademark publication. It's got everything. It's got the our application number, the classes of trademark symbols that we're going after, or class, whatever these numbers are. But because they have details of what I was trying to do, it seems legitimate. And they're like, pay this fee within 10 days of getting this invoice. I'm like, I thought I paid for the trademark already, but I do know there might be other fees involved. I'm not sure. Start looking into it. But then I decided to read, Dear Madam and Sir, the publication of of the public registration of your trademark is the basis of our offer. We offer you the registration of your brand in our private database. It's the same thing as all the domain name mail I get. Right? You get like,
oh, hey, we have a conflicting domain name here in China, and if you want to secure yours,
well, not even that. I've seen those as well, but you'll get mail from other companies saying like you need to register your domain name, but you're registering it within their database. They're not actually doing anything for you other than taking your money, which is very kind of them.
Yeah. All right, I found this. I'm gonna play it for you guys. But I'm down for like a rap, not a rap battle, but like I guess a rap battle between our guy Harry Mack and DJ Antlers. I guess that's their name. All right, let me share this with you. Hopefully the volume. Let me see if I got the volume going. All right, here we go. All right, here it is.
Here.
Start to make static plus dynamic. Start to make static plus dynamic. Start to make static plus dynamic. Start to make static plus dynamic.
No database up in your face
unless you want one.
No database up in your face
Unless you want one.
No database up in your face
Unless you want one.
I'll give him credit for
your saving grace. Join the salt stack revolution. Start to make upload Laravel and Tailwind. Join the salt stack revolution. Start to make upload Laravel and Tailwind.
PHP is back, baby. Not that it went anywhere.
PHP is back.
PHP is back, baby. Not that it went anywhere. PHP is so back. Start to make static plus dynamic. 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 No database up in your face unless you want. No database up in your face unless you want. No database.
Static's been around for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of. I came very close to actually deploying that to one of our systems, but I have reasons why. And the reason I'm not a fan is the exact reason why I never deployed it, because something happened that I didn't agree with some of the people involved with the project, and I'm like, all right, that's a hard pass for me now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm not going to get into it. It's not.
No,
it's a personal thing. Yeah. So, yeah.
I know. I liked it. I liked the rap. I thought it was pretty cool.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't know, man.
It's just being
kind of weak. I think it's kind of weak.
It's getting people wanting to know more about Static, and they charge for their whatever
they do charge,
services.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
You can listen to Harry Mack, and we don't charge for our services. I mean, we charge for development.
We charge for a magazine. We charge.
We don't charge for our podcast.
All right. The only other thing I want to bring up for anybody who's interested is I do another podcast that doesn't involve John, believe it or not. Although, John, I might actually have you on one coming up, but PHP Roundtable, we're recording tomorrow, or we're live streaming tomorrow. Same time, 3 p.m. Pacific Coast time. So yeah, PHP Roundtable.
What's the topic this month?
So we had a topic, but it actually backed out the last second. But if things go well, and I know I'm going to jinx it, and I'm going to say it anyways because I'm going to lead into other stuff. But if things go well, next month, our topic is going to be event sourcing. That's what I'm thinking about having you on for. I don't know if I'm going to get both of them, but Daniel from Verbs, which we've talked about recently, is a event sourcing package for Laravel. He's I try to be a good person. I honestly do. I try to be helpful. I try to inspire people and make things better for them. But then I run into people like Daniel, and I realize I am not good at being that, because Daniel, I have the same feeling with the people behind the Filament project. Darren and those guys have been so helpful They do so much. They contribute so much to the community. Daniel's kind of the same way. I've been having an issue with the verbs, just trying to use it, but I'm not like focused on it. Like I'm honestly just using it because I want to see how the package works, and I've been having problems. And he's been nice enough to reach out to me and offer to pair program with me and help me through my issues. And I'm like, dude, like, okay, that's fantastic. I mean, like, I realize as good of a person as I try to be in the PHP community, there's so many people that are so much better than I am. I hate them all, but they're fantastic.
It's a good community to be a part of.
It is. I am sure other languages have just as good of a community, but I can't imagine them being as good as the PHP community. It's fantastic people, man. I mean, end to end. We've talked about it before. I even got called out because I was praising Jake Bennett our last show, not last week, but our last show, and Michael Dorinda, who I consider a friend, but I might have upset that a little bit because I called him a dick. and
but you say it with love.
I felt like I said it with love, and I was told no, it didn't sound that way.
I guarantee you it was said with love.
Exactly, right? I mean, that's my thing. I don't think, I mean, even like the whole Ben Ramsey thing, I think everybody knows now that was just a joke, and I love that guy. I don't think there's anybody in the PHP community that I avoid. I know there are people out there. I know there are people that have bad reputations. Matter of fact, I think I might be one of them. But I know there are people out there that have bad reputations. But like those people, to me, don't seem to interact with the community enough for them to really register on my radar. So it's like, all right, well, you can be a bad player as long as you're not like being a dick in the community. And if Sarah won't be on the show tomorrow, I'm sorry for all those who only watch PHP Roundtable for Sarah. Sarah is traveling. She let us know, but I'm sure Sarah or somebody else from PHP Internals might have a different opinion because I've heard there've been some real like bad actors on PHP Internals. I've never met any of them. Yeah, enjoy everybody. All right.
But as we wrap up, Kevin wants to remind you to get your free Slurpees if you're listening on the day we're recording, which is July 11th.
7-Eleven. I don't know if that's an international thing because 7-Elevens are all around the world. I wonder if they do that everywhere, or if that's just a U.S. thing.
Who knows?
Yes, free Slurpee Day, 7-Eleven.
Go in, ask for one, and if they say it's not free, it's Kevin's fault, not ours. Send your receipt to Kevin. He'll pay you back.
All right. I think that did I say what episode it was? 389? 389?
I don't know. You started the show weirdly.
You're weird. You started
weird.
the show weird. You jumped on. All right. We got I think that's going to be it. Episode 389 is in the books. I'm Eric.
And I'm John.
Keep
it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it.
I
My
like
words
that.
spray tight.
PHP Raps
They
battle.
getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. So if you're still with the show and you're wondering what's going on, welcome to PHP Ugly After Dark. Now this is our after show where we just ramble for a little while. Switching to Rails. So yeah, A-Woods, you could call me out on it, or I'm not sure if you were, but like all the tweets that led up to the show, I teased like what did I say? A switch to Rails or something like that. I said in them, or potential switch to Rails. I was a little clickbaity, but
I was looking at the number of viewers, the live viewers, in this whole show. I'm like, wow, from your Twitter feed you got a few, and I've got 0. And now I realize, I think it's because you tweeted directly and I just retweeted. And I retweeted with a quote, but it was still a retweet.
Yeah, so we can talk about that. I have an idea on that as well. But yeah. I'm no matter how you feel about X, Twitter, or not, the viewership there is no joke on the viewership you get from that platform. Matter of fact, we recently had somebody ask for our numbers for our shows. And John and I don't really keep close eyes on it. Oh, that's something I forgot to mention during the show. We're moving all the streams over to the PHP Architect brand.
I almost brought it up. I didn't know if we wanted to talk about it yet, but
yeah,
I mean, I'm fine talking about it.
Yeah, I meant to say something. So, like a lot of people who clicked on it, the link that was in the tweets and stuff was the PHP Architect stream, which is weird because that's our lowest number. But yeah, so we're not going to stop streaming to the PHP Ugly YouTube channel. Just like whenever we tweet out links and stuff, it'll probably be the PHP Architect one, and that's really just to make life easier for me.
Which one was in the which one? Oh, I didn't put the I normally copy and paste the link opening and put it in the PHP Architect channel.
Oh, yeah. Got to do
so
that.
What we post to Discord is still the PHP Ugly live stream.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot I got to update that and restream. Yeah.
But I've been can we make it post to both PHP Ugly and the PHP Architect one? Just one or the other?
We can with the bot, which is something I've been thinking about doing. I've been thinking about just writing a bot, but no, Restream only does one. And like again with Roundtable, I have to go into Restream and update it. Otherwise, when I go live, it automatically posts that it's a PHP Ugly stream. So after the show today, I have to remember to change it. And I keep every time I'm like, I got to write a bot so that it will post to both Discord channels, and I can switch it between Ugly and Roundtable and PHP Podcast, because that's the other one I have to remember to go and change it for the PHP Podcast. Right. So yeah, everything is going to start moving to PHP Architect, but it shouldn't change anything for any viewers anytime soon. Yeah, nothing for anybody to worry about.
We need to write PHP Ugly After Dark.
That's the other thing I keep thinking about. So like I said, John and I, we don't worry too much about the numbers. We probably should, because like a lot of sponsors want to know what our viewership is and all of that. And I'm always like, okay, we have these many people subscribe to the channel, right? That's always a thing. But they want to know like how much their ad is going to get viewed, which I get, and we should be better about it. And we just recently had somebody ask, and I totally forgot about the Twitter numbers. And I don't even know how to get the Twitter numbers. I'm going to have to figure that out, I guess, at some point. But that's the issue. Like,
I don't even know if can we get them? I
assume. Otherwise, why would they have it, right? You have to be able to track it somehow. But like our audio podcast for PHP Architect, the PHP podcast, we have no analytics on that at all. We've never bothered. I mean, we could hook up like Google Analytics to it or something, but we've just never bothered because I don't know. We just went into that aspect of it. And we should probably be better about it.
We should be.
We need a
for sure.
I almost did it this week. Was move the PHP podcast audio version to the same service we use for Roundtable and Ugly, and then I took a look at how much we charge for those. I'm like, damn it! It's like, wait, we're paying this much every year? So it's hard because we don't pay anything extra for the way we're doing it now. I should probably still do it just to have the analytics at some point.
So yeah, if you go to the stream, or if you go to Twitter and then look at it, you can see how many times it was watched.
Yeah, but can you see it? Like, can I go back?
Yeah. So if you, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. So I'll need to probably do that at some point. I need to write a script that just gathers them all.
Well, it actually shows you how many views each post has gotten, not just. So I don't know if it's actually video views or if it's just this many people saw your post.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's not giving me the data I was thinking. So that number we're looking at in the top left that keeps rising, that may just be people seeing the post, not actually clicking play on the actual video.
I don't care. I'm good either way. Makes me feel better. Yeah. I don't even see, like, what are you even looking at? So I guess I gotta go to my profile, I'll go to this, I go to the video. Yeah, that's just the people that have seen it and retweeted it. No, that. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. See, I think that engagement number is the important one. So yeah, I don't know, man. We should probably care more about that, and maybe we'll get more followers or something. That's like I also think. So when I was talking about moving the PHP podcast to the service we use, I mentioned that because I have like commands I can run from the command line that uploads to those services and things like that. And so I was thinking like, oh yeah, if I did that, then I would just start publishing the PHP Ugly and PHP Roundtable podcast to that channel as well. Not necessarily not publishing it to their individual channels for people who are subscribed there, but people who are subscribed to the PHP Architect podcast channel would get like, all the podcasts we're doing that, they don't know that they have to go to other channels to get. And I'm saying that like I'm doing a good thing for the community. Like, people are like, I don't want that, dude. React PHP is 12 years old. That's something I haven't looked at in a while. React PHP. Here, I'll share this. Am I still sharing stuff? Do this tab? Wait, what? Oh no, what did I just share? What's on my browser right now? Oh yeah. Yes, React PHP is 12 years old. Funny story, I've told John a million times, but for our new listeners, when React, the JavaScript framework, became really popular, I thought this was what they were talking about. Because I was so big on React PHP for a while. I loved React PHP. I thought like it was the next big thing. And it's a very cool thing to have. But then everybody started talking about React. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that. Like that is really cool.
They're talking about React JS.
Yeah, they're talking about React JS. Yeah, I should take a look at this. I haven't played with React PHP in so long. It's funny because they had the server socket before PHP had the built-in one as well. That's cool.
What?
Yeah.
What did? Say that again?
I believe so you know how PHP has the built-in server, right? The PHP,
Oh yeah.
Right. You could create a server in React PHP before PHP had it.
You said socket. I'm like, no, you've been able to do stuff with sockets via PHP long before React PHP.
Oh, right. Yeah, I did say socket because I was looking at the socket server is what I was saying. Yeah, see, this kills me, man. People like this, like these guys, Christian, Caleb, Daniel, Darren, like the freaking stuff that they create for this community is amazing. Like this is shit like companies would pay developers, a team of developers, a shitload of money and still not get nearly as good of a product as what they've built.
Yeah.
We got some great developers in our community. Yeah, we need to figure out a way to highlight these developers better in our magazine. Like just highlight a project or a developer, not necessarily interview them or anything, just highlight them. There's so many things in it.
Say nice things.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Oh, so many good people. I am not good at my job, man. I always think I am, and then I see some stuff that these people put out, and I'm like, wow, I am not good at what I do. I need to get better. All right.
Yeah, I think we should call it.
Yeah, I got stuff to do, man. I got other things to procrastinate on. I gotta hang.
We have a phone call tomorrow that we have to be on. Don't forget.
That's right. Yeah.
Good things happening, hopefully, soon.
Very excited about it. Hopefully we can talk about that soon. Very happy. All right. Yeah, that's going to end it for the stream. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us today.